Hi and welcome to class. Today we are doing a yoga for ankylosing spondylitis. My name is Elina Boyd and I run a virtual yoga studio focused specifically on students with back pain. I myself have had ankylosing spondylitis for 10 years and I also have a couple of disc herniations in my low back and my neck, so I know a lot about what it's like to live with chronic back pain. I'm a 500-hour certified yoga teacher, and if you enjoy this video, I'd love for you to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I'll put a link below as well to my virtual yoga studio if you want to check that out. We will get started today in a seated position, a comfortable seated position for you. So I'm sitting on 2 yoga blocks here. You can also sit on a chair if that's more comfortable, or even lay down if that feels more appropriate for you today. So let's just take a moment here to center and get prepared mentally for our practice. So you can keep your hands just on your thighs or wherever feels good for you. Close down your eyes if that feels comfortable, or gaze softly at a spot in front of you. And just start breathing in and out through the nose. You don't have to breathe in any particular way. Just breathing in and breathing out. Noticing the movements in your body with each breath. And just paying attention to the breath. If it's perhaps shallow or deep, slow or fast. And notice any sensations in your body here. And try to notice without judgment. So let's say that perhaps you're feeling stiff today, then just notice, okay, this body part feels stiff, but it's not bad, it's not good, it just is what it is. So just trying to accept the present moment exactly the way it is, without making it into something good or something bad. And just breathing in and breathing out. And when you feel ready, you can slowly blink open your eyes. And if you're laying down, come to a seated position, or you can also stand up for this. So place your fingertips on your shoulders, if you can reach. If not, you can just kind of hold them wherever they fall, and start taking some big circles with your shoulders here. It's nice and easy. You might feel a lot of cracking and popping. As long as there's no pain, that's quite all right. And try to really get those shoulder blades included here. So pulling apart as you go forward, and they kind of kiss when you come back. Good. And switch directions. Just getting that synovial fluid flowing through our shoulder joint here, and getting those shoulder blades gliding smoothly across the back of our rib cage. Good. Release that, shake it out. Take your right hand, reach it down as if you're trying to pick something up from the floor, and gently tilt your head over to the opposite side, feeling a nice stretch here through the shoulder, side of the shoulder, or neck, sorry, side of the neck and into the shoulder. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. One more. Good, and then gently come back to center. Take any little wiggles you need to, and we'll do the other side. So left hand down as if you're trying to reach something on the floor, and then gently just tilt your head over to the opposite side, feeling that nice stretch through the side of your neck here and maybe into your shoulder. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. One more slow breath here. And gently bring it back to center. Take any little movements you need to. Then reach your arms out in front, make fists, and then start moving your wrists as if you're revving a motorcycle. So just kind of up and down like this with your hands in fists. And then just start moving your arms up overhead. And try to make this wrist movement as smooth as you can. Smooth and controlled, so it's not so jerky. Good. Reach your arms up overhead as far as you can, and then come down. Good. Nice and slow here. Warming up through our wrist joint. We'll do some stuff in tabletop. So want our wrists to be nice and warmed up for that. Good. Now release your fingers, and we'll just do the same thing with an open hand. So you'll do this movement here. So fingers towards you, and then trying to touch the bottom of your forearm, basically. Good. Nice and easy here. Just try to keep that movement as smooth as you can, and then start moving your arms up. Bit of coordination here as well. Good. Reach your arms as far up as you can. Your wrist might start to burn a little bit. I know I'm starting to feel it, which is good. Just warming them up. Ooh, boy. Ooh. All right, shake that out. And if you had a chair, remove that and place your blocks, if you had those, over to the side. You won't need them again. And let's come into a tabletop position. So hands are underneath shoulders, knees underneath the wrists. Flex your left foot and just start taking some big hip circles here. So just moving that femur, your thigh bone in the hip socket. Nice and easy. Perhaps point your toes, see how that feels. So you're going back, out to the side, forward and down. So just imagining drawing really big circles with your knee. Good. And switch directions. Just getting those hips nice and juicy, getting, again, that synovial fluid going through our hip joints. And you can do this with a pointed foot or flexed foot. It's up to you, whatever feels better. And then extend that left foot out. Slide it out as far as feels good for you. Try to keep a bit of an arch in your spine. So imagine you had a tail and you're trying to reach that tail up. And then just take some wiggles here. Nice and gentle rocks back and forth. You can be on your fingertips, can be on your hands, whatever feels better for you. And you're on the inside edge of that left foot. Getting into our inner thigh here. Nice and easy, beautiful. And if you'd like, you can place your palms down and take some cat-cow. So arch through the spine and then curl through the spine. This might be a very small movement because it's hard to do when our hips are in this position, but that's okay. That's kind of the whole point. Good, one more. Really try to make it come from your upper back. Good. Release that and then slide back in and come back into your tabletop. Now we'll do the right side. I'm just gonna turn around so you can, so I don't kick my window here. So we'll do the same thing, flex the right foot and just take some big hip circles. Might hear a lot of cracking and popping. Feels really good for me at least, so hopefully for you as well if you get those. And you can play with pointing the foot and see if that changes the sensation. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Switch directions. And really try to visualize your thigh bone moving in that hip socket. Good, last one. Ooh. And then extend that right leg now. You're on the inside edge of your foot, and then just slide out as far as feels comfortable for you, keeping that arch in the spine, and then just take some gentle rocks back and forth. Good. So if we can open up through our hips, our whole body usually feels better and more open from that. So if you have AS, it's easy to focus a lot on the spine, but also opening up through the hips and the shoulders can really have a big impact. Good. Now from here, we'll do those little cat-cows again, adjust as needed if you want to slide back in a bit or maybe go a bit deeper. So arch the spine and curl the spine. And you can play with your breath here, inhaling as you arch and exhaling as you curl. Or maybe you want to try the opposite. So whatever feels good for you, it's your practice. Good. And slide it back in. Come back into your tabletop position, and we'll take some full cat-cows now. So as you inhale, curl your tailbone up and arch the spine. Pull the mat back. You can even bend your elbows here to really get into that upper back, and then look up. And exhale, curl underneath. So think about an angry cat here, pushing the floor away, shoulder blades pull apart, belly button to spine. Inhale, arch again. And exhale, curl. Inhale, arch. And maybe you want to stay here for a bit. Maybe take a breath or two here. Getting into that upper back. Shoulder blades pulling together, chest is pulling forward, using the arms here, pulling the mat back, and exhale, curl. Good. And come back to that arch. And from here, we're going to walk our hands forward. And coming into a puppy pose. So place your forehead down on the floor if that feels comfortable. You can also use a cushion or one of your yoga blocks here if you don't quite reach the floor. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathe in, breathe out. Lift your forehead off the floor and slide forward. So your hips come down onto the mat. You're up on your elbows and forearms, so in a Sphinx position. And let's make the Sphinx active. So roll the shoulders back, pull the shoulder blades together, and then pull on the mat. So imagine that you are trying to pull your body forward here. You won't actually move, but that's the direction. So really actively pull. So you're like trying to slide yourself forward on the mat here, like this. Feeling that opening through the chest, activation of your upper back and middle back. Pull, 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 and breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. And release. Place your hands so that your fingertips are touching, and then place your forehead on top of your fingers. Tuck your pelvis under. So imagine that you had a tail and you're trying to tuck that tail. Your glutes are engaged, and then just lift your head and shoulders off the mats and lower down. Good. And lift and lower. And you might not come up very far here, and that's okay. Just getting a little muscle activation through that upper back and the back of the shoulders. So think about elbows coming really far up here. Good. And last one. Hold it, breathe in, and breathe out. And lower down. Good, beautiful. Now, let's roll over to our side. So you're gonna have your legs in a 90-degree angle here. If your SI joints are bothering you, you can place a block or a pillow or something underneath your knees, or in between your knees. You can also place a pillow underneath your head if that feels better for you. I'm just gonna scoot forward here so I don't hit the window. Place your bottom arm out straight. Place the other arm on top. And from here, take a big inhale. And as you exhale, keeping that top arm straight, you're just gonna rotate as far as you can go with the legs and hips staying in the same place. Inhale, come back. I'm gonna scooch forward a bit more. And exhale, twist. And you might be here, that's fine. Wherever you are, just kind of notice any sensations. And come back, good. And open. And come back. And open. And come back. And open. You can either look straight up to the ceiling, or if it feels okay for your neck, you can look over towards that right hand. And just breathe here now. We're holding for a moment. And again, just notice any sensations here in your body. And if it's uncomfortable or painful or just some sort of buzzing sensation. So if it's painful, back off. So it should never feel painful. But I also want you to be very conscious of what sensations you're actually feeling. Sometimes when we feel a new sensation, and especially when we have chronic illness or autoimmune issues like AS, it's easy to immediately think that any sensation is pain. But when you actually feel into it and you pay attention to it, it's a little uncomfortable, and maybe it's also just a sensation. But your brain thinks that it's pain because we're so used to pain, right? And slowly come back. Good. Roll over to your back. You can hug your knees into your chest here. Take any little wiggles you need to kind of reset your hips. I feel like my SI joints always crack and pop like crazy after those as well. Okay, now we'll do the other side. So come over to lay on your opposite side. Legs are still in that 90-degree angle. Bottom arm is straight out. Top arm comes on top, and then just open up, twisting through the spine here. Good. And come back. Exhale, open. Inhale, come back. And exhale, open. Beautiful. So we'll do a few here, just getting some dynamic movement in before we hold. Last one, and then we'll hold on this one. And again, you can look up to the ceiling, or if it feels okay for your neck, you can look over that top hand. Just breathing here. And try to extend your exhale. So you breathe in and then restrict your exhale a bit so that it gets longer than the inhale. That kind of tricks your body and your brain into relaxation mode. And you might notice, especially in this position, if your arm is not touching the floor, if you breathe in that pattern where you inhale and then you exhale really slowly, you'll notice that your arm kind of just sinks down more and more. And then as you inhale, it usually comes up a little bit and then it goes down. So just play with that a bit. And when you feel ready, inhale to come back and then roll over onto your back again. Take some hip wiggles here or some knee circles, whatever feels good. And roll over to one side, come up, and we'll come back into our tabletop position. We'll do one more of those Sphinx poses just to see how you feel after those. They're called book opens, and they often help to really open up our upper spine, our thoracic spine, and also our shoulders and our chest. And so our puppy pose sometimes feel a lot more open afterwards. So let's try one more just to see how this one feels. You can place your forehead on the ground. And if your chest reaches the mat, you can also play with placing your chin on the mat. So just see where you are. And you want to try to keep your hips over the knees. You can also come slightly forward with the hips. Just don't keep them behind the knees. So if you slide forward a little bit, you might be able to touch your chest to the floor or not. Doesn't really matter. And just slide out when you're ready. You can wiggle it out a little bit here. Let's take another Sphinx pose, pulling the mat back. Beautiful. And lower down. And let's make our way over onto our backs for Savasana. So you can keep your knees bent here, feet on the floor, and then knees knocking together. If you have your chair, you can place your feet up on your chair. It's very restorative for your low back. Or you can simply extend the legs out and let the feet just splay out to the sides. Oops, now I have plants and blocks and everything in the way, but and then arms by your side, palms facing up. You can close down your eyes here if that's comfortable, or just gaze softly at the ceiling. Let's take a big inhale together through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Feel your body just melting into the mat here. And releasing the practice that we just did. Notice any sensations in your body and try to notice without judgment. Finding acceptance for what is. perhaps your body is feeling really heavy here, like it's melting into the earth. Or perhaps you feel like you're floating, you have this light and airy sensation in your body. Or perhaps it's something different. Just notice any sensations. Free to stay here in your Savasana for as long as you'd like. If you feel ready to end your practice, you can slowly blink open your eyes. Take a good morning stretch. Over to one side and sit up. Thank you so much for joining me for this class for ankylosing spondylitis. Let me know in the comments how it felt. Share it with anyone that might find this useful. If you have a friend or family member that suffers from AS as well. And of course, feel free to subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and I'll put some links for you below as well. And I hope to see you again soon. Have a beautiful day.